Hey, Denny, thank you so much for joining us.
How are you? It's nice to be here.
You gave me something I understand. You gave me love in the palm of my hand.
You were at the epicenter of rock and roll. I mean, when everything was changing in the early and mid-'60s. Just an overview. What was that like? Because it changed on a daily basis, it seemed like.
I've been asked to write a book about it, actually, London in the 60s. So I'm thinking about doing that.
Yeah. I don't think I've ever seen a definitive work about that. I've seen work about individual artists and groups, but never about the whole London scene in the 60s. I think that'd be a great book.
Well, yeah, the point is, though, I'm probably one of the few people that was around and saw so much because all my friends, like I said, were going to clubs together. We were going to see a lot of the bands that came over from America, too.
Yeah.
I mean, that's where they came to be noticed a lot of the time because they wanted to get in on it as well. I mean, we went to see the Byrds and we went to see... I met Dylan with Paul and Hendrix and people like that. So it's like it was a great time for mixing in the American thing and the British thing, I thought. And that's one of the big things that I would be writing about. I don't know that many people that I know who are actually, involved with so many different people like I was.
Yeah.
So I think I'll be able to do a good job.
We've already said
has it, or the story goes, that in 1964, Bessie Banks cut a record called Go Now, and you heard it, and you went straight to your mates in the Moody Blues and said, we need to cut this song. Were you the impetus for getting that song cut by the Moody Blues?
Well, I was the one who, I suppose, but we all heard them together. I mean, somebody bought a whole load of records back from the States, a DJ friend of ours. And we went through them. I went through them more than anybody else because I wanted to add some obscure stuff to the set, because we were originally a blues band, and then we developed it more into R&B. And like I said, we didn't want to do all the hits at the time, but we went into whatever was there. And that was the song that I associated with gospel, especially with the piano.
Mm-hmm.
And I said to Mike Penny, we really should be doing this song. Yeah. It's perfect, It's got the piano part on it.
Tip Pender nailed that on the piano, did he not?
Oh, yeah. Well, Mike's a great piano player. I mean, people know him from the next Moody Blues phase, where he's more of a mellotron and that kind of player.
Mm-hmm.
But as an actual pub piano player, Mike's really good.
A lot of us know your work from Wings, obviously. You were with the band from its inception, but you knew McCartney it sounds like, from pre-Beatles days. True? Is that true?
Oh, yeah. Well, I mean, that's what the point I was trying to make. I went out with Paul a lot to see these bands that came to town. We talked a lot about everything. We went to parties. George was a good friend of mine. Whoever was in London, we went to see.
I'm still in love with you now. I don't want to see you go, but darling, you better go now.
Paul was trying to put something new together after the Beatles. He was kind of lost. I was like that after the Moody Blues.
Right.
And you don't know what to do with yourself, so you kind of... And I think he picked me out because, you know, I knew him, and it would be easier for him to work with somebody he knew than a stranger at that stage. So, and also, I was into doing something new. I didn't want to do old Moody Blues stuff, and Paul didn't want to do Beatles stuff.
Stuck inside these four walls, sent inside forever, never seeing no one nice again, like you, Mama.
Your guitar solo and the intro on Band on the Run. Tell me about that whole thing and how you came up with it.
Well, the truth is I didn't come up with it. It was Paul.
Oh, no kidding.
That we both played on that song.
Oh, okay.
Kind of did a unison thing to get special effect thing. But it was Paul who came up with that. And it was his song. You know?
Yeah.
I mean, a lot of the times people think, who played what, who played this, who played that. Paul played some guitar and some of the Beatles stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he's a good guitar player.
Right.
But he comes up, what he does is he comes up with good riffs is what it is.
Mm-hmm.
Not so much the solo stuff. Like, if he does have a good line, then obviously I like to do it. I mean, I play that live on stage now.
Yeah. Oh no, I noticed your set lists that you've been playing, and I know those things often change, but you do a lot of Wing songs in your set list, don't you?
Well, I do because people want to hear them, but I'm not trying to be a copy band. Mm-hmm. I don't do the tribute thing.
Yeah.
I do my own version of these songs, keeping all the main parts in there. But I like to say that, it's years later, we like to develop it a little bit more, and I have the right to do that, so I do. Play some old Moody Blues stuff, off my first album with them, and then I do a lot of my old solo stuff, and some of my new solo stuff. I'm trying to get that out there as well. I do have an album in the can. I'm glad to put out.
I can't wait to see you at the Southgate House. This is great. I mean, I know you don't come through this neck of the woods often, but this ought to be this is a big deal for us coming up here this Wednesday.
I've been that part, quite a lot in my past. I mean, last year I did do a few, Nashville, Kentucky, Atlanta, Georgia, that kind of area. And I love the music down there anyway. I love the people and all the music. So it's kind of, somewhere I like to be. I like influenced by that area. But, in this time, a lot of venues I'm doing on this short tour are the venues I did before. So it's going to be great. Seeing some of the same people and the same, it's always good to see friends again.
Yes, and we can't wait to hear your band. It sounds like you're a great group of guys, and your catalog that you've amassed is just staggeringly good. And Denny, I can't thank you enough for your time here today on 700 WLW. Thank you so much.
Thank you, and have a good one. I'll see you soon.